Time is running out. You have just more than 24 hours to vote for who you think should win ArtPrize. Voting ends at midnight tomorrow.
And for those in the top 10 this year, there is a new rule. They won't be able to enter the competition next year. So tonight we asked them, what do they think of that new rule? 24-hour
News 8's Danny Carlson is live tonight with those answers. Danny?
Sue and Brian, it's kind of a good news, bad news type situation in ArtPrize this year. If you make it to the top 10, like this piece, Grizzlies on the Ford in front of the Ford Museum, that's fantastic. The only problem is you can't participate in next year's competition. When we asked the artists in the top 10 about what they think of it tonight, they say they're split.
I think the nose, the nostril, is probably my most favorite aspect on there. The bike seat. Yeah, it works great for a nose.
Rich Brandstrom is one of those top 10 artists who says he welcomes a break from next year's competition.
It's all just been kind of hard on a guy, so take a year off, that would not be a problem.
He's competed all 3 years of ArtPrize and says since Rusty took him to the top 10 this year, he thinks it's okay to bow out for 1 year.
I think it maybe will provide more of an opportunity for other artists, so it's not a bad rule. I can see where they're coming from.
ArtPrize is really about the work. It's about the creativity and the innovation of the installation, and it's not about creating a dynasty of top 10 appearances.
4 of this year's top 10 were at the top at least one other time since the competition began.
We like to see new voices in the conversation. We want to bring those voices into this creative pool of Grand Rapids. So we think it's going to help facilitate it. I mean, it's just a small change, but we think it could have a pretty decent impact.
There's so many best artists.
But two-time top 10 artist Paul Balaker says he doesn't get it.
Are we ever going to really know who is actually going to have won? Because let's say, you know, hypothetically, I get to win this year. Well, I can't come back next year. And then somebody else wins, and they can't come back the year after. So are we ever going to know? Because they'll never really get us all back together again after this year, so there'll never really be a clear defined winner of ArtPrize.
He says some people might come back to see their favorite artists each year, but says he doesn't see how taking out good competitors will strengthen ArtPrize.
I think it's going to improve the quality by keeping the top 10 in, not make it any better by taking them out.
ArtPrize officials reminded us today that this competition is an experiment, and they say that they're experimenting with this experiment all the time. So while this is the new rule this year, it might not necessarily be the rule forever. Live in Grand Rapids tonight, Danny Carlson, 24-hour News 8.
All right, thank you, Danny.